are tuned in to your dose of positivity. I am Marlene Motivates, and as I always say, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
And to gain further support, join my channel membership. Hey everybody, it's Marlene of Marlene Motivates, and welcome to your dose of positivity. We're doing something a little bit different today. You're seeing me a little bit later because I'm doing this live privately and then I'm uploading it for you guys. So you guys won't miss out on your dose of positivity for your Friday. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe to Marlene Motivates. I do videos Monday to Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, I do the Motivated podcast on Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you're welcome to come to both of those, okay? So today on the Dose of Positivity, we're talking about ourself, the relationship that we have with ourselves. And it's a very important one. It's a special one. And we have to think about ourselves and nurture that love within ourselves. And I understand that, that self love is not something that naturally happens to us, it's something that we have to want. We have to be ready for it. And it's something that a continuous basis, like all good relationships, we have to put in the work for ourselves so that we can feel good about us, okay? And namely, today we're going to talk about some accountability, the accountability that we have to have for ourselves as adults. And the title today, if you don't like it, change it. There's a lot of things that happen to us in our life that is beyond our control. And we're not talking about that today. Today, we're talking about the things that is within our power, the things we have the power to change. Are we doing what we need to change it to have the life that we actually need and deserve? Okay. So let's start off with the first point. We are in charge of our mental health. Now, we all know that, the things that we think about is who we become. So we think, so not as many situations. It could be stress, it could be relative, it could be a person you're in a relationship with, it could be a job, it could just be us and the things that we're just coping with in our day-to-day life, just the struggles and the problems of just living in this world. And it can take a toll on our health, and we could just not be okay. But we have to understand that if there are people in our life that we know that their mental health is not okay, but then they're putting their problems, their stress, their financial situations on us, and then they drop off their problems and their burdens on us for us to do. And that does take a toll on our mental health. Nobody is responsible for another person and how they deal with their life. I know that when we have people in our life that we love, we just want the best for them. So we try to take over sometimes and do the things that we don't need to do. And it causes us needless stress. It's not our responsibility to raise a grown person, whether it be your children, your relative, person you're in a relationship with. Every single person is responsible for their own mental health, for their own decisions that they make, and even though sometimes that when they don't make good decisions, they want to bring it to us, but we have to be like, hold on, wait a minute there. That's all about setting boundaries, and we definitely have to learn to speak up for our own, you know, comfort, our own comfort, our own, just overall well-being, because we will not be well, especially mentally, if we take on other people's stress. And it can be so aggravating, so frustrating, when others try to get you to do, and take care of their problems, because let's admit it, sometimes we enable our relatives, we enable their children, you enable your spouse, significant other, and do things that you don't need to do. Okay, we do too much, or we are taking over and doing things and just saying it's okay, I'll do it, because we want to control the situation. Okay, and that's something that we definitely have to take a step back, motivators, take a step back and realize that we cannot control, like the strings of a puppet. We can't control others and say, do whatever I want you to do. We can't. We'll stress ourselves out, we'll drive ourselves crazy, and guess what? It still will not change it. Okay, so that's why I wanted to do this discussion, to say that if you don't like it, change it. There's some people that you can't change. You can't make them act right and do right. But we are in control of us, of the decisions that we make. Okay? The choices that we make. And sometimes, I hate to say it like this, motivators, but sometimes we don't always make the best choices. We're thinking by our emotions instead of thinking about our mental health and how this is going to affect me not only in my present, but in the future. Okay. And with all that being said, we have to understand we're in control of our mental health and what we allow and what we don't allow. So stop allowing others picking up their responsibilities, picking up their problems. Every time something is wrong, we jump and we bail them out, or we're always there. For our mental health, we have to learn to not always be available. You cannot be available just like that at every phone call, and you just jump and you run off. You're always there, always there. That's not good for us in all aspects. It's making them be dependent on us, when every single adult has to learn to carry their own burdens, their own responsibilities, and learn, because I can't get bailed out, I have to make better decisions. I have to do better. Okay. And we're in charge of that. We're in charge of speaking up. And that's one of the things that it may be difficult. But just because something is a difficult thing to do, it does not mean that we should say, because it's hard, because it's uncomfortable, I'm not going to do it. No, we know better than that, motivators, don't we? We know better. And when we know better, we do better. We don't want to be one that always complains about how we're being treated, what is done to us, and then we just say, I'm upset. I'm upset. I don't like it. Or we complain, we complain, we complain, but you do it anyways. See? You see the title is very appropriate. If you don't like it, change it. And we don't want to be the person labeled as, oh, yeah, they say they don't want to do it. But if I know if I press them a little bit, they'll do it anyways. They'll give in. When we say yes to something, it should be yes because we have thought about it, yes because it fills up my cup, and yes because I know that I'm able to. See, we don't want to say yes to things and then later on live in regret or, or doubt. Why did I say yes to that? So, with that being said, as well, we also have to understand that when somebody asks us to do something, we don't have to give an answer right away just because they're waiting for an answer. Let let them say, just give me a day or two to think about it. I'm not sure yet. I have to let you know, or I'll get back to you, or give me a few minutes, or my favorite line, let me pray on that. Okay. Give yourself the time to think about what you want to do before you do it. And because we are responsible in all aspects of our life, we're not going to allow others, rushing us, trying to force us into doing things, make us make a rush decision that will later on lead to regret, disappointment, and issues with our mental health. And I can't leave this topic of talking about mental health and not talk about how important it is for us to take our mental health breaks. Yes, we have bills to pay. We have, food to get and cleaning and responsibilities and all of those things. But also, it can't just be the burden of one person. It can't just be the burden of you. You have to speak up. You have to delegate it to individuals and don't take back. Don't go back on what you said. If you are giving this to somebody as a responsibility, don't try to take over and say, no, don't do it like this, and then take over it and do it. Let them do it in their way. See, micromanagement in how we want things done can get us stressed out and it can affect our mental health. Understand, motivators, it does not have to be perfect to be done. It doesn't have to be done exactly how you want it done to make it done right. Okay, we're going to loosen those strings, okay? And we're going to pull back and we're going to allow other people to make their own decisions so that we can take a deep breath so that we can relax, so that we can be okay. Because that's our job and responsibility for our mental health. And it may mean, saying no to some exciting events coming up, or saying no because we know certain people are around and they will trigger you into this spiral. Okay. That's a part of knowing your worth and knowing your triggers. Don't allow other people to trigger you down this rabbit hole of all these emotions, and then you just feel overwhelmed and have a mental health breakdown. And we don't want that. See, because we know better, we will do better and we're going to make changes. Let's get into point number 2. If you don't like it, change it. We are in charge of our financial health. So that means most of us were not raised knowing a lot about, what to do with money, how to spend it, how to budget, how to, have diversified portfolios and all of those things. But if you see, the charge is on us. We're grown, we're accountable, and we're responsible for ourselves if we don't like something about our situation. So maybe you are in a stage where You did a lot of things. You helped a lot of people, and then it affected you in a bad way. Maybe because you helped people, maybe your credit score went down. Maybe you lost certain things in your life. You had to take a few steps back. Maybe you got into a hole for a while. Maybe you got into some debt. But we are in charge of our financial health. So it means looking at the position we're in, being accountable. What did I do to make me be in this financial position? Okay. What did I do? I did too much. I didn't say no. I could have walked away. I didn't have to show up. I didn't have to co sign. All of these things are being a grown, responsible, accountable adults. Being an adult is not easy. It's not easy to look at yourself and say, I did that and I should not have. That was a wrong decision. I jumped the gun. I went with my emotions rather than my 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 thinking the situation all the way through to the end. So we have to take ownership of all of that. Remember, we're in charge of how our life is, and you're the one that those bills are going to come to. So you have to decide what I do with my money is my responsibility. Who I give it to is my responsibility. I don't have to say yes just because somebody asked me for something to co-sign to do this. You don't have to hand out money to everybody just because it's your kids, grandkids, aunts, uncles, siblings, whoever it is. Other people need to be responsible with their money. It's not our job to be responsible for others not having things together. Me, I, I am going to take ownership of what I do, and I'm going to stop saying no because it's harming my financial health. Okay. And money disagreements can be a big problem among a lot of people. So if you don't want to do something, don't do it. You don't have to. Other people will make you feel like you have to do something because you have that financial means. Well, you have it. Yes. Just because you have it, congratulations, you did well. You're probably a hard worker and you did what you needed to in order to have those things, but it's not your responsibility to just open up your pocketbook, your wallet, and just give it away freely. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to be in charge of your financial health and say yes and no to the right things. Okay. Let's get to our third point. We are in charge of being healthier. Now, I know this is one that's a little abrasive, it's uncomfortable because we all see things that we like, the sweets, the fatty foods, the fried foods. There are a lot of things that we see, and it's very tempting to want to eat that way all the time. But remember, the way we eat affects how we feel, and how we feel affects how we think, and how we think affects what we do in our life. So if we want to be healthy, it starts with the decisions. Am I going to plan for my meals? Am I going to bring junk food into the house? That's one thing that I have this thing with me and my family. We don't bring junk food inside of the house, okay? It's a new day, it's new opportunities. If you want to have ice cream, I'll buy one ice cream cone outside, or I'll buy a little snack bag of chips, but I don't go and buy that big bag of chips anymore, or that big tub of ice cream, or things like that anymore, because it will be eaten and eaten, and I'll tend to overeat, and then I'll feel guilty. And then I look at the scale and say, oh my goodness, I gained another 5 or 6 pounds. And we all know those pounds add up to many pounds, and it's easy to put on the pounds, but hard to take it off. So, what are we saying over here, motivators? If you don't like it, change it. If you don't like it, change it. See, a lot of times we'll look at our current weight or our health, but we don't want to do anything to change it. Let's just admit it. We're adults. We are grown motivators. We're grown. And when you're grown, you have to understand that our situation, there's certain things with our health we can improve and have better health. We can feel better. We can get more energy, but it's dependent on what we eat, what we do, what we think, and getting out there and doing something about it. Remember, you're in charge of being healthier. Now, there's nothing we can do sometimes with certain health issues and health problems, but we can be in charge of, not making our health worse by eating the wrong things, okay? We're in charge of that. Now, this is our fourth and our last point. If you don't like it, change it. It is our responsibility to be joyful and to have peace within ourself. See, it's my job to have joy. Um, I didn't understand the weight of that. I always was charging everybody because I was very unhappy. And I believe that my unhappiness was based on other people in my life. And yes, other people can make you feel unhappy, but nobody can give you joy. Joy is something that we have to work on doing for ourselves. See, joy is a personal possession of each of us. So it's our responsibility to be joyful. It's your responsibility to be joyful, okay? And also, the next part of that, it is your responsibility to have peace. Well, peace is one of the most wonderful things that you can have. Having peace of mind, having a peaceful home environment. For me, peace equals quiet. There's nothing like it to just have peace and quiet, no noise. I'm finding the older that I'm getting is the more that I am liking quiet. I don't even want to hear any noise, just turn everything off. But every person is different. And it's our job to have that peace. And it means the decisions that we're making. And also, it's my job, it's your job to work on yourself so that you have peace. And that peace of mind is going to be from what did I do to work on myself so that I can be okay with me, so that I can love myself for who I am, for what I am, and what I can do. And that was me taking ownership of my life. I didn't like my life. I didn't like how angry I was. I didn't like all the time I had to think about all the traumas, all the people disappointed me. I had to work on myself. And for me, it was my decision. I put myself in therapy, and people around me didn't like it because guess what? When you work on yourself, you're not going to be putting up with their foolishness. People don't want you to improve. Why wouldn't another person want you to be better? I'm so much better. I'm so much happier. I'm so much healthier. I have so much more peace of mind because I put in the work to say I didn't want to accept the life that I had. I didn't want to be miserable like people in the past generations, angry and bitter till their grave. No, I said, I am in control of that. And I say that to you too, motivators. You are in control and in charge of what you do with your life. And it was my job to put in the work. It was my job to put in the work, to work on myself so that I could get some of those heavy things off of my heart, so that I could stop bringing up all the time what happened to me. Like just every day is a new day and you're still talking about the same things. Like I said, if I didn't like it, I had to put in the work to change it. And it wasn't easy. It's not me just saying this because it was something easy. It took me years to work on myself, and I'm still a work in progress. Every single day, I take things one day, sometimes one moment at a time, because that's all I can do. And that's what this discussion is all about, putting in the work so that we can be our best self. And that comes with a responsibility, motivators. We have to love ourselves. We have to put in the work. We have to say, I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like how they use me. I don't like how people waste my time. I don't like the ones that take me for granted. I don't like that I can't get over X, Y, and Z. I need some help. And then I do something about it. See, we don't want to be known to just say, I don't like my life year after year. You don't like it. You don't like it. But you are not changing it. That's the difference, motivators. We want to separate ourselves from people who use us, people who are manipulators, toxic, and just are not helping us to become a better human being. And like I said, if you don't like it, change it. Change the things that you don't like, because that's all up to us. We can say we don't like something and complain about it, or we can be motivated, encouraged, and enthusiastic about our lives and say, I deserve to be happy. I deserve to have peace of mind. I deserve to have my money together and right. It's my right. So whatever it is that you don't like in your life right now, motivators, I am speaking to you. Whatever it is that you don't like, change it. Do something about it, or stop complaining about it. That's all from here. I am Marlene. I am the content creator for Marlene Motivates. And on this channel, I talk about inspiration, positivity, life lessons, and mindset shifting. Join me this coming Sunday for the Motivated Podcast, which will be uploaded at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Enjoy it and enjoy the rest of your day. And like I always say over here on Marlene Motivates, just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life. I will see you guys on Sunday for the Motivated Podcast, and back on Wednesday for regular live streams. Have a great rest of your day.
Be encouraged, be inspired, be yourself, you will survive. Just know it, just breathe it, and be it, and live your best life.
Forgive me, I love me. I've been blessed that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am enough now. What about you? Forgive me, I love me. been blessed, that I have made it through. I'm stronger and worthy. I am